What's up, bro? I'm not gonna take up too much of your time on this introduction. I'm just gonna get right into it now. How you get better extremely fast at volleyball is you, number one, do a volleyball log. Right now, the way that you do this volleyball log is super important. Here's another one. I have a bunch of these. My most recent one. So I'm transitioning to beach a little bit. I was trying to work on my four-step approach in being in the batter's box. You see the way that I get this? Now this is super important. I'm gonna do one with you. I want you to grab a notebook and a pen, and I'm just gonna do this for some rec stuff I'm doing after this. So you're gonna write down volleyball log. Do this with me now. Don't be a pussy. If you really want to get good at volleyball fast, or any skill, you have to do this. You have to keep a log, keep a journal. Today's date, which is the 10th. I just checked my real quick. Now, schedule this, right? So this is what you have so far. Volleyball log, board 1023. Now, you go to intentions, right? Now, this is the one thing that you're going to focus on for this practice. And this really works because if you focus on everything at once, you'll get nothing. So you just need to focus on one key component, and you gotta be okay with being bad at the other ones, just so that you can focus and level up this one at a time. This is how you really get good fast. All right, so let's just say that I wanted to have a better contact on my float serve because I'm doing a new jump float, right? I would say I'm going to focus on, let's just say, keeping my hand spread out to get a more solid and even contact on the ball when I'm float serving. Now this is super important because once you have a goal in mind, it's a lot easier to know what you're going to do for that practice, right? This is how you get good at practicing. I read this in a book by Angela Duckworth called Grit, the Power of Passion and Perseverance, right? I read it a couple months back. I don't have the book on me, but she goes through this, how professionals practice thing, right? So it's a little cycle. So first you start with the intention for your practice. I don't know if she calls it the intention, but that's what I called it. So you have an intention, and then the next thing we have is gratitudes, right? So I'm gonna write down a gratitude. I think I got this from Dustin Watton in his journal, because I'm really big on the mental part of volleyball. You got to write one thing that you're grateful for today. Be honest, right? So for me, I'll say, and not just one thing you're grateful for. You have to go into detail. You have to go into depth. You have to be really specific, or else it just won't even register in your mind. So one thing I'm grateful for. I'm extremely because you're going in. We're being sincere. No one else is gonna read this, right? I'm letting you guys read mine because I'm fine with it. I'm extremely grateful to be able to share all of the knowledge. You don't have to write what I'm writing down. This is me personal. And this is very important. Trust me on this. This is very important. Okay. So this is the second part of the journal that you would write. I wrote my gratitude, I wrote my intention, and next, this is the part that you have to write after the practice, is a couple of pieces of feedback, right? So you don't have to be very specific with the feedback part, but you do need to definitely be specific enough so that you know what you're talking about for next practice. All right, so let's just say, I would say something like, overall, I like to always say overall good practice if I have a good practice, so that, you know, it leaves a good impression in my mind. Overall good practice, this is feedback. Just specific problems. So let's just say, overhead digging or overhead passing needs work, right? We could just write that. And then when we read that next time, we're gonna go, let's just, yeah, we're gonna use this. Overhead passing needs work. So we'll read that and then remember all the times that, you know, when we were overhead passing, our arms were probably flared out like this. So then when we tried, you know, the ball slipped through our hands because our arms weren't stable, right? So we can use our feedback now from our intention as our next intention, right? So when you do this intention thing, basically you check one thing off the bucket list, right? All these minor things that you need to fix for one major skill, right? So I would use this next one. Sometimes I start, sometimes I don't. Overhead passing needs work. Can you read that? Hopefully you can. So what I would do now is go home and look up on YouTube. And this is the second step. This is the research part. How do I get better at overhead passing? Boom. And then you watch a couple of videos, right? Watch a couple of videos. This is what YouTube is good for. Maybe watch some videos like mine. And then you take one part of that process and you write it as your intention for the next part. So let's just, I'm not gonna write it down because I've already done a whole fake log for y'all. Or not a fake log, but a whole fake part of the log for y'all. Or a fake part. A fake page. This is not my actual intention for today, but like for y'all, this is the one that, example, not fake, the example one. Gosh, I can't even. So you would use this one that I starred for your next intention, and then keep doing that and keep doing that, and eventually you're going to get good at all the little things fast, which will make up all the big things, right? So yeah, second part, research. This is where you go on YouTube and get the information, right? Or go on to anywhere and get the information. Let's say Libero Academy or Setter Academy. I know there's a Blocker Academy. There's a bunch of stuff. And then you get the information from a source. And let's just say, for instance, the split step. You focus on splitting on contact for your intention for the next practice. And then you focus on, if you're on tier 4, landing on one foot and pushing off, yada, yada. Or, you know, for setting, you're going to focus on keeping your arms flared outward for setting so that you can have a more even touch on the ball or something like that, you know. I just wanted to pop on here real quick, show you guys a good process to get really good fast at any skill. This isn't just volleyball. You can use this. I use this for my calisthenics equipment. Here, I'll show you my rings real quick. Here's my rings. My room's a little bit of a mess. Biking, singing, driving, like, dude, anything, to be honest. I'm glad to keep your time. I appreciate you watching. Give me some knuckles, bro.